we have a new BALLBUSTERS bozo on the circuit, Edric, April 11th, 2020.
The whole thing is really in affirming the consequent formological fallacy in itself.
What, you're prepared to say that before you know anything about how they work?
No, I do know how they work. I just told you I've been researching them for months.
How is it in affirming the consequent?
Well, here's the argument as I understand it. If the Earth is a globe, an EQ mount will track an object across the sky from horizon to horizon using only one axis of rotation. It does that, therefore the Earth is a globe. That's not the only conclusion you can draw from the results of using an EQ mount, correct?
Brandon, Brandon, the problem with doing it that way, and this is a Nathan Oakley exercise all the time. You could just as accurately say, if an EQ mount will follow, a celestial body across the sky from horizon to horizon, then the Earth is a globe, right? You just transpose your P and your Q arguments, and then it's not an affirming the consequent, which is a fallacy. It's an affirming the antecedent or remote opponents, which is a valid argument.
What?
Okay. So restate the argument for me in the way that you'd say it.
Your argument was, if the Earth is a globe, then EQ mounts work in X fashion, right? EQ mounts work in X fashion, therefore the Earth is a globe. Now you're right, that's an affirming the consequent fallacy, right? But you could equally say, if you transpose the propositions, you could equally say, if an EQ mount works in X fashion, then the Earth is a globe. An EQ mount works in X fashion, therefore the Earth is a globe. Now that's not a fallacy.
Stupid.
Really? So according to you, to save a train wreck formal logical fallacy, you just flip the P's and Q's and voila, Bob's your uncle, right? Great job. Now that you saved the formal, we can now check for soundness, right? Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Number one, an informal logical fallacy called begging the question. Assuming the very thing you're attempting to prove with your EQ mount, it's a sphere fiasco. And number two, a non sequitur fallacy. Because nobody with a competent faculty of reasoning skills would clumsily attempt to appeal to the motion of a man-made object, tracking the motion of celestial objects, to validate what they're standing on. It's tantamount to attempting to discern the shape of Cassiopeia by tracking how a motion-sensitive camera surveils a friggin' mud bog. You're an imbecile!
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
You got to be careful. I mean, an example commonly used is, to try and make it obvious, if you cut a person's head off, they will die, right? I cut the person's head off, therefore they're dead, right? But the problem is, look at line 1. If you cut a person's head off, they will die. That's not a factual statement.
Oh,
Are you serious?
Just a flesh wound.
I'm invincible! I'll bite your legs off!
Ya headless bozo.
Well, no, it's not an argument. I mean, we can show you pictures showing you exactly how they work. I mean, look, Brandon, you've got to understand the only explanations, those of us who've been doing this for a little while, the only explanations we get to the South Celestial Pole problem are either, I don't know what the nature of the stars are, they're celestial, something or others, or personal dome arguments, which are ludicrous. I know you're saying you don't have an explanation, but none of us have ever heard an explanation for the South Celestial Pole.
Oh, really? So we have 3 anecdotal fallacies, which are straw man fallacies, And I have an explanation to your conjured South Celestial Pole problem. From Cornell University, there is no South Star. It's just a coincidence that there happens to be a bright star, Polaris, close to the celestial North Pole. The southern hemisphere isn't so lucky. The only star that comes close is Sigma Octans, which is 1 degree away from the South Celestial Pole, but it's only a 6th magnitude, too dim to see at all except under optimal conditions. And from the 1 Minute Astronomer, Dr. Brian Ventrudo, in the northern hemisphere, the bright and easy to find star Polaris marks the position of the northern celestial pole. This makes it easy for stargazers and navigators to find north and get orientated in the night sky. But in the southern hemisphere, it is different. By sheer bad luck, the South Celestial Pole, the imaginary point in the sky, directly above the Earth's south pole, coincides with no bright stars, and the southern polar sky has few other guides to find the pole. So,
You dumbass.
your conjured South Celestial Pole problem is your problem because it's in your imagination. You're a bozo.
The other circular argument, the other explanation we get is the world's worst circular argument. The Earth is flat, it works, therefore that's how it works. You know what I mean? It must work because the Earth is flat.
You serious?
Did you query preschoolers for your 4th anecdotal belly-laughing straw man fallacy here? Headless bozo, perhaps you should consider returning post-haste to your cake decorating and whose favorite color is the best forms to ply your wares, son. You're a retard.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over.
I'm back, bitches!
And we're off. If you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Sorry for the lateness. I wasn't late. Studio would not give me the all blue sign to go live. So I had to do this and that and what have yous to get this show on the road. So I was not late. I am never late. Unless I'm late. All right, let me get my act together here, folks. We'll jump on into it. We got Alex O'Connor, Asshat O'Clowner from last week. He delved into flat Earth topic some years ago. And so we're going to take a look at that fiasco. It was 7 years ago. Now, I realize this is low-hanging fruit, but we're going to have to do it. Must be done. A couple little twists along the way, and I'm sure you guys will like it. Yeah, I'm still here. Give me a moment. That's not right. All right. We're getting close. But half the things aren't working. What the heck is going on around here, man? Hopefully it's not those dreaded computer issues. All right, let's get that up. Got that. Have to do that all over again. Oh, boy. Oh. All right, I can't look out there. You guys know the deal. Got 5x5. Check. Check. Radio check 1 2 1 2. Check. Ah!
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alex, and I've just...
What kind of name is that? I bet y'all drinking that wine too, ain't you? Just smoking them tweeds and everything.
hit 20,000 subscribers. So that's cool. I was really not planning on this happening, or at least I wasn't planning on this happening today. So I would love to sit here and just express fully my gratitude to you. I've got a lot to get through in this video, so I'm going to save that for my next video, which is going to be a Q&A to celebrate 20K. So if you have any questions, if you want to know my favorite food or why I reject the one true God Almighty, leave it all in the description.
What'd you say? Let's go back. Sorry about that, folks. What did you say?
If you want to know my favorite food or why I...
You want to know my favorite color? Ass hat.
Reject the one true God Almighty, leave it all in...
He rejects the one true God Almighty.
What?
Got some problems there, sunshine. So, asshat, to say no God or creator, you ipso facto must believe, and this is non-exhaustive, ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints, that's DNA, then construct protein robots, ribosomes, kinesin, cilia, etc.
Perfect.
The laws of thermodynamics, pillars of science, are false.
Perfect.
The laws of chemistry and biochemistry contain symbolic logic functions.
Perfect.
Quantum mechanics is bludgeoned and left for dead. That is, it's false.
Perfect.
The law of cause and effect is false.
Perfect.
Something can come from nothing naturally.
Perfect.
The law of biogenesis is falsified. Life really does come from non-life.
Perfect.
And giraffes really do come from bacteria, if given enough time.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're a railroad scholar, all right.
Now fuck off.
Perfect.
In the description below or on my social media, and I'll answer as many as I can in my next video. But on to more pressing matters, I need to make an apology. I'm sorry, okay? A little while ago I made a response video to a guy called Pastor Greg Locke, and in part of the video I said that in regards to the scientific...
Oh, wait a second. Did he say Glock? Let's roll on back. Let's pull a J back here. Pastor Greg Locke. Very interesting.
A little while ago I made a response video to a guy called Pastor Greg Locke.
I didn't even know that name until a couple months ago when that big debate went down between him and what's that other pastor's name? I forgot it already. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's ironic that he comes up again. And this was, ladies and gentlemen, this was 7 years ago. Look down here. 7 years ago. So, that's quite interesting. And what's up with the non-sunlight gathering? This dude's like fish belly white. He's going to get rickets tomorrow. I mean, you better start getting some sunshine and start ponding friggin' chocolate milk, dude.
And in part of the video, I said that in regards to the scientific accuracy of the Bible, that the...
What?
What?
Scientific accuracy of the Bible? What the hell does that mean? I don't know.
The Bible implies that the earth is flat and that it's actually round, and therefore the Bible is...
Flat and round aren't mutually exclusive, you idiot. You can have a flat and round penny, dime, LP, tortillas. Idiot.
probably inaccurate. But I've just come across a YouTube video, and it turns out that, well, at least according to this video, the Earth is actually flat. So
yeah, it is. Welcome to Flat Earth, numpty.
yeah, I'm really sorry. I got that one wrong. There's been quite a few of you suggest to me that I should tackle some of this flat Earth stuff because
you couldn't tackle Little Miss Muppet. Look at you. You can windsurf on a Dorito.
I think for some reason it's beginning to sort of pick up popularity, this flat Earth.
This flat Earth thing picking up popularity 7 years ago. Yeah, it's right in your face right now. Yeah.
I'm your huckleberry.
Earth Society, which, if you don't know, is basically people who believe...
Wait a second, let's roll back on Jay. What the hell did you just say?
Should tackle some of this flat Earth stuff because I think for some reason it's beginning to sort of pick up popularity, this flat Earth Society.
He thinks we're all Flat Earth Society. He must be employing them rigorous research skills, you know, with his piercing intellect. You're a clown.
Which, if you don't know, is basically people who believe that we live on a flat Earth rather...
No, we don't believe it. I don't believe crap. I know for an absolute fact the Earth is flat, non-rotating, and contained. Absolutely. There, crayon crunching clown.
Rather than a globe. And I recently came across this video called Flat Earth in 5 minutes, and it's actually a really good quick summary of...
Yeah, that's the rigorous research he's done. He came across the video and found something that's 5 minutes, and that's about it.
pretty much all of the significant arguments for flat earthers. And you know, I'm not any kind of
significant argument for flat earthers? I don't think so. And that's a stereotype fallacy, by the way. Idiot.
I've watched quite a few of these videos about flat earth conspiracies. They actually really interest me.
Why does he say flat earth conspiracies? There's no conspiracy. Flat's not a conspiracy. It's an aspect. Okay, Crayon Muncher? The only conspiracy here is your heliocentric BALLBUSTER spinning space monkey religion. That is a confirmed conspiracy. Okay? It's like he's got all these watchwords and stuff, right, that he just throws out incoherently. Right? You're just a pretender clown fraud. Everyone knows what you are.
But I'm just using sort of common sense and logic here. I don't...
He's going to use common sense and logic. He wouldn't know what common sense and logic were if they climbed up his arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in Carolina Reaper lace concertina wire. You are a numpty dipshit of epic proportions. So shut up! Okay?
I don't have an extensive knowledge, so I'm just going to sort of go
He
through this
doesn't have an extensive knowledge. But he's going to go review it anyway. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just going to start pulling stuff out of my ass, and here it is for you. What a clown.
Video and see what I can come up with.
ODD. That's back in the day now. Wonder what happened to him. Is he been around? Have I just been missing him or something? I liked ODD. I kind of miss him.
Water, when unmanipulated, is to find its level. So whether you look at a cup of water, a bathtub, a swimming pool, a lake, or the ocean, it's flat. Of course, natural motion is not considered and doesn't equal a curve.
Now, this is an argument that I don't actually hear very much on these conspiracy videos because it's...
He calls it a conspiracy video. What the hell? See, like I said, he's clueless. He's just throwing out the watchwords incoherently. They're non sequitur. He's just talking about water's flat. He gave you a few pictures. How is that a conspiracy? You abject retard? It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I don't know, dudes. You tell me.
It's not a very good one when you consider the fact that the Earth is it's quite large, really.
Oh no, we got the Earth biggie. It's our Earth too biggie.
Bruh.
And he's got this infatuation with big ones and biggies. Like on the last episode with his buddy Dick, you know, the big one. These Evo-tards, I'll tell you what, they got something going on with these big ones. So,
of course, there's going to be no perceivable curvature when you look at a minute.
whoa, what? No, let's get that full thought. Check this one out. Yeah, we're going to get that whole one right
on
there.
these conspiracy videos, because it's not a very good one when you consider the fact that the Earth is, it's quite large, really. Of course, there's going to be no perceivable curvature when you look at a minute part of the Earth's horizon. And
What? Before we get to the horizon, haven't we been bombarded ever since, I think it was 2016, when Soundly came out with his Lake Pontchartrain nonsense? You know, the causeway and the transmission lines. But you just said there's no way to perceive curvature. But they're talking about, and we've been listening to it for years, that there's the evidence for curvature. So we're kind of having some internal consistency and continuities issues here, asshat. Don't you think? Unbelievable.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
And when you have pictures of like a glass of water or a bath or something.
Yeah, glasses of water and a bath. And he gave you a picture of an ocean. He's just trying to give you a panorama right in the topic. Yeah? Idiot.
These things are independent of the Earth's horizon, so of course.
Oh, they're independent. He didn't say that they were dependent on the Earth's horizon. He's just more or less saying, you idiot retard, that water always seeks its own level. Yeah, bodies. Yes, that's a known fact. That's what he's trying to do here. But you're not picking up on it. You know why? Because you're a degenerate, reprobate retard. That's why. We all know it. It hasn't changed since you've grown all up. We evaluated your performance last week. It was a tear-jerking belly laugher.
Of course, they're not going to be subject to the curvature of the Earth.
We have zero authentic pictures of them.
What's not going to be subject to the curvature of the Earth? What? The cups of water, right? You just buy, it's just a little straw, man. Unbelievable. What about that horizon that was out there? How about that one?
The Earth, and they're all composites, and NASA even admits that they Photoshop Earth images.
It is Photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Okay, I think I've got two things here. Firstly is that if this was a logical argument, it wouldn't actually prove a flat Earth.
Yes, it would. Under one condition. You know what that is? Obviously, he doesn't because he's a friggin' numpty dipshit. This would be a case where there were only two choices. That is, if you had only two possible choices, the Earth is a sphere-tard or flat, and then you ruled one of those out, then the other is therefore true. Mr. Logic, like I said, you're a moron. It's called a disjunctive syllogism. Yeah. So, you're toast.
All it would do is rebut an argument for a spherical Earth. And so even if your
you're finished. I already compromised.
Your argument is a consistent and logical one, it doesn't actually prove your position. And
yes,
secondly...
yes, it does. And I just ripped that right out of your ass. Coming up through your throat. You're already exposed.
Just because an image has been altered in Photoshop doesn't imply significant falsehood or
What?
deceit. Okay.
And it sure doesn't imply that it's true or exact or correct now, does it?
Look at this photo, for example. This image that you're looking at right now has been Photoshopped.
Oh boy, this is a false comparison fallacy because you're comparing pictures taken from Narnia. That's a second law of thermodynamics violation where no one can go and take pictures, but I'm sure people can go to this place wherever it is and take some pictures. So right out the gate, it's a false comparison fallacy.
but that doesn't mean that it's not an accurate representation of reality.
What? If it's been... Yes, it does, because accurate means exact. He doesn't know what simple words mean. Let's see what we got up here. Oh, boy. Oh, let's take a look. From Cambridge Dictionary, accurate, correct, exact. So you can't Photoshop something and have it be accurate, because that would mean it was exact. You idiot. Like I said, these GlobeTARD, they're just retards. They don't understand simple words. We're going to get to this in a second.
All that it means is someone's taken the image into an image editor and adjusted the contrast or the hue or the saturation a bit, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
In fact, in doing so,
making it not accurate.
So they may have actually constructed a more accurate representation.
Oh, no, it's more accurate. What a clown, man.
Of reality than they would have had if they hadn't touched it at all. Think of it like a panoramic shot. When you take a panorama, all that's happening is you're taking multiple photos and they're all being stitched.
Well, who does this guy think he is? Is he an image specialist for NASA now or something? It would appear so, right? Just pulling stuff out of his ass, making it up.
Together into one big photo. The same thing happens with NASA's photos of the Earth. It's very difficult.
See? Yep. He's the image specialist now for NASA. Let's see your credentials, knuckle dragger.
To photograph the Earth. And so, of course, there's...
photograph the Earth? Why not? I mean, they purportedly went to the moon. They have all these satellites up there in geosync. They sent probes. I know you like that. Probably big ones. To Mars, the sun. All they had to do was turn that monkey camera around and go click. Right? So it should be pretty easy.
To be composites, but in doing so, all they're doing is creating an accurate representation of
He's
the
on
Earth.
his we already compromised your ass with accurate. You don't know what accurate means. You're a dumb fuck.
Grant you this, however unlikely or improbable it is possible that NASA has just completely faked these images.
Oh, you think? Yeah, it's 100% absolute fact they have. You know why, Alex? Because they're traveling out, purportedly, to a vacuum of space. And that is a second law of thermodynamics violation. Asshat. Duh. It's Narnia.
But like I said before, this doesn't actually prove your position. So let's move on.
On numerous occasions, NASA admits that we can't go beyond low Earth orbit, which is between 99 miles and 1,200 miles away.
Whoa, wait a second. If they admit they can't go beyond low Earth orbit, then how do we get to the moon? I'm just spitballing.
The interesting thing is that the moon is said to be 238.
Yeah, didn't they go there? So how can they only go into low Earth orbit and not go there when they said they went there? Ooh, boy.
Nothing for you.
1,000 miles away, which is a difference of 236,800 miles.
NASA have indeed made it quite obvious.
NASA have.
What the hell did you just say? Do you speak any English?
You're having problems with have and has, Alex. Idiot.
That to go beyond low Earth orbit is quite inconvenient, but it's not impossible. It's really just a cost and safety kind of thing.
Oh, no. Now he's a cost and safety officer for NASA. Before he was the image specialist. Covering a lot of disciplines here for being 13 and a moron.
Without the motivation of something like the Cold War, which arguably was the driving force behind Apollo 11.
That's a non sequitur fallacy from the Black Lagoon.
Hell no!
How does that have anything to do with them going to the moon? It's an appeal to motive fallacy, a friggin' clumsy one, and non sequitur overall. And remember, Alex, asshat, clowner, they can't get there because they have to go through Narnia. It's a second law of thermodynamics violation. You fist belly white degenerate reprobate.
NASA can't really justify the expense and the risk to the safety
Now
of
he's like the financial officer for NASA. All of a sudden, these people just pop up. They're all NASA experts.
passengers to go beyond low Earth orbit at this current time. But it's perfectly possible. It's just not something that's particularly...
No, it's impossible because it's a second law of thermodynamics violation, you idiot crayon muncher.
preferable right now.
Uh-oh, there she is, Horizons.
No matter if you're on the ground, on top of a building, a mountain, a hot air balloon, an airplane, or looking at high-altitude amateur balloon footage, the horizon never fails to rise right to your eyes.
Again,
never fails to rise to your eyes. That statement was a little bit clumsy, but that was back in the day. Now, you got to give ODD a little slack, right? We all know what he meant, and if he said what he meant, it would have still been wrong. You know, it rises to eye level. It doesn't, right? It's just beneath eye level, but we understand. Yeah, I digress.
Do bear in mind that the Earth that we're all on is quite a big one. You'd have to...
He's back to the big ones again, dudes. I can't believe he said that again. I told you these EvoTards, if you listen to the last episode, him and Dick were all over those big ones. Hey, Alex, asshat O'Clowner. How can you have a horizon on a GlobeTARD? You see, according to the slope of dope, you're the dope. According to the slope-intercept formula, y equals mx plus b, the slope of a horizontal line is always 0, akin to the BALLBUSTERS IQ. EvoTards is the same one. It's 0. You see all these horizontal lines have slope of 0 from Varsity Tutors. From Louisiana Tech, a horizontal line has slope of 0. See all these biology, Arizona.edu, a horizontal line has slope of 0. Are you getting this? From study.com, a slope of a horizontal line is always what? That's right, your IQ, 0. See all these? They're all 0. Guess where horizontal lines are derived from? You guessed it. Called the horizon. How you like that? From Math Open Reference, a horizontal line is one that runs from left to right across the page. I'm down here, Alex. It comes from the word horizon. So if horizontal lines have slope of 0 and horizons we see everywhere in reality, they must have a slope of 0 too. How can that be when the rate of curvature or the definition of curvature is the rate of change of slope? That's a problem from the United States Naval Academy. Curvature is the rate of change of slope. So how can the horizon, which has a slope of 0, have a rate of change of slope of non-zero? Curvature, por favor. That violates the law of non-contradiction, and you're right dead in a friggin' paradox.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
To go significantly higher than these balloons or even an aeroplane to be able to perceive the curvature of the Earth, but also these photos.
Oh, really? Well, back to Soundly's transmission lines and Causeway. Did they go significantly higher than an air balloon to make their conclusions? Huh?
I've got you in my sights.
Photos that you're using.
The photos that they're using. Shut up. I slap you, you half a sissy.
Simple as it sounds, you could just angle the camera down to point at the horizon.
Oh, yeah, that's what we all do. I mean, I've been doing that my whole life. I've been looking down to see horizons. Haven't you? I mean, that's all I do is look down to see horizons.
Woo! What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, he's a moron.
And choose that as your eye-level photo. These really aren't particularly compelling arguments.
He's choosing eye-level photo. Compelling arguments? What? No, they're not arguments. They're a few photos and a video. Those aren't arguments, you glue-sniffing fungus muncher. Like I said, folks, he's just pulling stuff out of his ass, right? It's non sequitur. But he thinks he's an intellectual.
Now fuck off.
Arguments, but yeah, the Earth is quite big. Let's not forget that.
Back to Earth, too biggie, no curvy. Shocking stupidity.
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
Whether
Curvature, I'd like to hear him define that. Get your popcorn out, right? It's not going to happen.
you are looking at Toronto's skyline from Niagara on the Lake, 31 miles away, Chicago's skyline from Union Pier, 43 miles away, or even Oahu from Kauai, which is up to 108 miles away from center to center, or 73 miles away from the closest points. You will not see any curvature where it's supposed to be. According to the Pythagorean
Very interesting. I was wondering, I remember watching this back in the day, but when I was playing this video, I looked over here, and this is to the right of Oahu, right? And the only thing that's right of Oahu and looking in this direction is the big island, and there's another small little island. I didn't even know it was out there. And I was stationed on Oahu, by the way, back in the day. And I was going to speculate, but I'm not going to. I just find it interesting. So I digress. Pay no attention here. We'll move on.
theorem, which states that the curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared, Oahu should not be visible whatsoever, but you can see the whole thing.
If there's one thing that I love as much as philosophy and science, it's...
Jesus, it's just going to belly flop right at this.
You what?
Maths. Now...
Oh, he loves his maths. Okay, let's see his maths acumen. Ready? Everyone pay attention.
This can get a little bit tricky, but bear with me. If you Google...
It's going to get really tricky, guys, so pay attention. If you Google... Jesus.
What kind of shit is that?
Is this, if you Google, is that your maths acumen? You're a clown.
The distance between Oahu and Kauai, you'll come up with a figure of 108 miles.
Oh, we haven't, all right. Well, we haven't got any maths yet. We do have a number, 108 miles. Okay, now what you going to do?
Put this into a simple Earth curvature calculator.
Oh, now he's going to put it into a calculator. Is that your loving of maths? Putting a number in a calculator? Jesus.
Bruh. You'll find out that you shouldn't be able to see anything at that distance under about 7,770.
He's trying to set this up, right? Because we all know, look, there's nothing in here. Eye height. ODD didn't give him any pedigree information whatsoever. So this guy is just running with it. He's just arbitrary. He's going to make shit up. Watch. Well, you've already seen it a couple times already, so.
6 feet. And the highest peak on Oahu is just over 4,000 feet. So how on earth should you be able to see the mountain? This is the argument of the flat earthers. But as you've...
No, that's a stereotype fallacy. I'm a flat earther. I've never made that argument. See, that's why stereotyping is a fallacy, you glue-sniffing fungus muncher.
Rightly identified in your video, the distance between the closest points of Oahu and Kauai is only 73 miles.
So what?
And if we input this into the calculator, we get a figure of about 3,500 feet, which means that you should be able to see the top part of the...
Like I said, this is nonsense. This is a nothing burger. The whole thing. ODD should have given the pedigree information. I can't remember the whole video. It's not in this video, that's for sure. But, like I said, asshat's going to run with it and just start making shit up.
the island. But even this is incorrect. In fact, the distance between the highest peak on Oahu and southern Kauai is 83 miles, which is actually longer than your...
So what? Who cares? He didn't give you any pedigree information.
...shortest estimate. So if we input 83 miles into the calculator, we'll find that we get over 4,500 feet, which means that, again, Oahu shouldn't be visible. But there's one thing that you're not considering, and that's the elevation of the observer.
So did ODD give you the elevation of the observer? I didn't hear that. I didn't see it either. So now you're going to just make shit up. Let's say it's just arbitrary. Watch.
Kauai Airport has an elevation of 100...
Who cares about Kauai Airport? Was he at Kauai Airport when he took that photo or that video? I didn't hear him say that. Like I said, just arbitrary horseshit.
53 feet. Now, if we...
I'm not seeing too much maths. You know, from the calculator, maybe that's about it.
Input this into the calculator, we finally have the correct figures. We have an observer height...
The correct figures for what? For your arbitrary straw man?
Of 153 feet, a target distance of 83 miles, and if we hit calculate, we'll find that we should...
Is that your math skills?
Perfect. Be able to see anything above around 3,000 feet. And like I said, the highest peak on Oahu is around 4,000 feet, so we should be able to see the top of the mountain.
The top of the mountain? I don't know, in his video, there was much more than the top of the mountain showing. But like I said, there was no pedigree information. This is a big nothing burger. He just made a asshat, just made a idiot out of himself, as per usual.
In 1887, Albert Michelson and Edward Morley conducted what's known as the Michelson-Morley experiment.
Oh, no, they didn't. That's not an experiment. So, this was out there back then, guys. Let's roll back, get you the whole thought. See if you've heard this before.
Albert Michelson and Edward Morley conducted what's known as the Michelson-Morley experiment. This experiment was attempting to prove the speculated motion of the Earth around the Sun, and when it failed, Albert Einstein was forced to form the theory of relativity to overcome this problem.
What theory of relativity? Special or general relativity? So, I'll give him a pass. Like I said, this was back in the day.
In fact, anytime mainstream science is faced with undesirable results, they create a workaround, which isn't real.
Mainstream pseudoscience, you meant. Yeah, that's pseudoscience. Very important to differentiate and discern that.
Science at all.
Now, I've got to grant it to you that some of the quote-unquote arguments that you're using in your video are quite convincing, if logically flawed.
Where were they logically flawed? We had a couple nothing burgers. You didn't point out any logical flaw. In fact, you were guilty of the logical flaws yourself. Yeah. And why did you skip past that part in the video that said that you needed to stop and read? That makes you suspect, doesn't it? Let's roll back on to see what that said.
The quote-unquote.
They create a workaround, which isn't...
Okay. So this is from Edwin Hubble, The Observational Approach to Cosmology, 1937. Such a condition, folks, I'm just reading this. I haven't confirmed this. I've heard something similar to this, but like I said, I'm just reading this off of ODD's video, okay? So, such a condition, symmetry of redshifts observed from Earth, would imply that we occupy a unique position in the universe, analogous in a sense to the ancient conception of a central Earth. This hypothesis, oh my God, cannot be disproved, but it is unwelcome and would only be accepted as a last resort in order to save the phenomena. Therefore, we disregard this possibility. The unwelcome position of a favored location must be avoided at all costs. Such a favored position is intolerable. Therefore, in order to restore homogeneity and to escape the horror of a unique position must be compensated by spatial curvature. There seems to be no other escape. So essentially what he's saying is that this pseudo, there's a lot wrong with this, obviously. I'm not going to go through it and point everything out. You guys already know it. I think what ODD is trying to say is that these guys like Edwin Hubble, asshat, are just making shit up and plugging holes, is what he's trying to say. That was his point. Let's see what you got to say.
Real science at all.
Now, I've got to grant it to you that some of the quote-unquote arguments that you're using in your video are quite convincing, if logically flawed.
They're not. You're logically flawed, and I already pointed a couple of them out already.
But this is just ridiculous. It's like...
What's ridiculous?
Saying, oh, the laws of motion aren't real. You know, Isaac Newton's Principia was just a workaround.
No, Isaac Newton's laws were debunked. You friggin' glue-sniffing fungus muncher. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. It's pathetic. You're not researched. You're not well-read. You're an abject retard. Do you think this was hard for me to pull up? I could do this in my sleep. From your alma mater wiki, Newton's classical mechanics were superseded in the early 20th century when Albert Einstein developed the special and general theory of relativity. Boom, I could stop right there. Why? Let's have some fun. From Douglas Klein, professor of physics, from Phys Libre text, Newton's two crowning achievements, the laws of motion and the laws of gravitation that had reigned supreme since published in the Principia in 1687, were toppled from the throne by Einstein. They're debunked. From Richard Feynman, the discovery of quantum mechanics first, and then the behavior of light, and then in the behavior of matter, finally culminating in 1926 with the full equation of quantum mechanics, which told us that the laws of motion of Newton were not right. It can't get any more clear. And then from the chair of physics at Yale, Professor Shanker, that is the end of Newtonian physics.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Now fuck off.
Perfect.
Einstein's theories are still today, to the best of our current knowledge, completely logically sound. They've been tried and tested.
They're completely logically sound, folks. Yeah, baby. Now here's one of those special treats that I was alluding to when we first began this trek down memory lane. You see, this was 7 years ago. Guess who posted underneath his video? You guessed it, Quantum Eraser, 7 years ago. And right on topic. Asshat said Einstein's theories are still today, at least to the best of our knowledge, completely logically sound. I said, this is my response. Goodness gracious. Primary school falsification. So relativity, SR and GR, via different mechanisms, speed versus gravity, can dilate, bend, and warp time? Time is a conceptual relationship between two motions. Specifically, it's based on an alleged single rotation of the Earth on its axis in respect to the sun. A day. It's a concept, non-physical. It is without chemical formula or structure, no dimensionality or orthogonality, and no direction or location. You can't put some in a jar and paint it red, asshat. I mean, come on now, let's reason together. Can you dilate, bend, or warp non-physical concepts? Is it your contention that if you have poison ivy on the brain, you can scratch it by thinking of sandpaper, asshat? That which you are using to measure isn't the thing that you're measuring. A football field is 100 yards long, but a football field isn't yardsticks. If I bend the yardstick, asshat, does the football field bend also? The yardsticks are analog to the clock and the football field is analog to time. So if something affects, say, cesium atomic clocks, or any modern clock for that matter, does that then ipso facto mean the Earth's alleged rotation is affected? These two mytho-mathematical fairy tales, special relativity and general relativity, were falsified 30 seconds after their respective publications by third graders at recess, for goodness sakes. In toto, each are massive reification fallacies on nuclear steroids. Yeah, really logically sound. This rivals married bachelors. My word.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
That was a little gem, wasn't it? Yep, 7 years ago.
Tested countless times, and
they're tested countless times. There's mountains and mountains and millions and billions of years and mountains of evidence. Can you provide one?
Shut up!
And continuously proven to be true. There's a reason that Einstein is...
There's a continuously proven to be true. Yes, and Aphrodite was actually Elmer Fudd Dragon was directly responsible for the Tet Offensive.
Such a prestigious name in the history of science.
Yeah, because it was doing his cousins.
Because he got it right.
Yeah, sure. And Nana Nicole married for love, and Pol Pot was her florist.
The sun is claimed to be 93 million miles away, with a radius of over 400,000 miles, but can easily be proven to be much closer and smaller by tracing the crepuscular rays back to its origin in the sky. If the sun were indeed 93 million miles away, it would simply be impossible to have angled sun rays, as they should all consistently come in straight.
Now this is all completely to do with perspective. Look at...
Perspective?
What?
You're a GlobeTARD. You can't appeal to perspective. No way. Nope.
What kind of shit is that?
You got to go back to those Earth curve calculators, and we need to see perspective in there, or you can't appeal to it. You follow that, crayon muncher.
What kind of name is that? I bet y'all drinking that wine too, ain't you? Just smoking them tweeds and everything.
That's what you got to do. You can't appeal to perspective. Because GlobeTARDs don't have, perspective doesn't exist. Not the metaphorical perspective. I'm talking about perspective, visual perspective. It doesn't exist for you crayon munchers. That's how stupid you are. And you don't even realize it. You convincing them 13-year-old girls, Alex? Fucking weasel you. That's what you are, aren't you?
You little weasel. Look at you, you little fucking weasel. I can see it in your eyes. You're a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I can see it.
Look at this picture of a road. This road is completely straight.
This looks very familiar to me. Sadly. Rigging up on the High Plains Drifter. Unless they put these in there after I left. This looks very, very familiar. But I digress. All right, what do we got?
The lines on either side of the road are parallel to each other and running in a straight line into the distance. But from our perspective...
Not your perspective, Alex. You're a sphere-tard. Not from your perspective. Unless you can show that in the Earth curve calculator. Then I'll allow you.
It appears as though they're getting closer and closer together, forming some kind of triangle to a singular point in the distance. And this is exactly the same thing that's happening with the sun. The light rays are coming in...
Oh, really? So the light rays are parallel, but that's just our perspective. You can't appeal to that. Can't argue that. Judge, it's my contention that this should be stricken for the record.
In straight lines parallel to each other, or perceivably parallel, given how far away the sun is.
Whoa, how far away is the sun? We're going to need to know how far away the sun is, and who the hell told you from Wiki or Discovery Channel, and for you to do your maths, right, with your Google calculator.
But because of our perspective, and because they're coming towards us...
No, not your perspective. You're a GlobeTARD.
it appears as though they're diverging. Have you ever looked at a meteor shower? Because if you...
Yeah, I look at them all every night.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
You'll notice that in the sky it looks as though all of the meteors are coming from a singular point in the sky and spread.
That doesn't look like that to me. What the hell are you talking about? Does it look like this to anyone else? PM me if that's what it looks like to you.
Spreading out as they come towards you. But if you understand basic astronomy, you'll understand that...
If we understand basic astronomy, you mean pseudoscience? Is that what you mean, Alex? Astronomy and cosmology. Let's take a look at this. From Gunn, J, cited in Cho, Adrian, A Singular Conundrum. How odd is our universe? From Science, very prestigious journal, by the way. Cosmology may look like a science, but it isn't a science. A basic tenet of science is that you can do repeatable experiments. And you can't do that in cosmology. Uh-oh. From Professor Nick Strobel, Bakersfield College. Next up on the block, astronomy. Unlike the other sciences, astronomy is entirely observational.
What?
You cannot run experiments on things. You cannot manipulate the objects to see how they work. Uh-oh. So if cosmology isn't science due to the lack of experiment, then therefore astronomy isn't science, because they don't have any experiments either. Simple. And I'd like to bring this up. I found this interesting. The date. That's what I find very interesting. Andreas Osiander, and the book, by the way, on the revolution of heavenly spheres, Nicholas Copernicus. Listen to this closely. So far as hypotheses are concerned, let no one expect anything certain from astronomy, which cannot furnish it, lest he accept as the truth ideas conceived for another purpose and depart from his study a greater fool than when he entered it.
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
That'll put hair on your back. Right there. I was surprised that this gentleman knew what hypotheses were in 1543. Just something, little gem back there. All right. That's what I'm talking about, boy. Yeah. So this is a train wreck for you, Alex. What are you talking about anyway?
A meteor shower is simply flying bits of rock going through the atmosphere and burning up.
No, sir. Not that atmosphere. That's a paradox. It's a contradiction in terms. Because atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape. You would literally fail, and I'm going to show you this in a few. You would literally fail first grade intro to gas behavior. What do you think about that?
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
In the sky, and they're traveling pretty much parallel to each other. But
oh, really? Prove that. Would like to see that. So show that. Please define parallel first, because I think, I can only speak for myself, but I don't think you know what parallel means.
Because again, of our perspective, because they're coming from further away.
No perspective for you. No soup for you.
No soup for you.
And they're starting back here. As they come towards you in a parallel line, it looks as though, as my fingers look like they're getting further apart across the screen.
You get those fish belly white little fucking sticks out of our faces. Shit. Good God, that was scary.
But they're actually traveling in a straight...
Stop it!
...line. They're diverging because of our perspective. And so...
Really? So show that. We need to see that.
So it may look as though
Not your perspective. No, 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 no. Don't you remember?
Nothing for you.
The sun rays coming down from the sky can be angled back to a singular point quite close. If you consider perspective, the sun is actually a lot...
No, 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 no. You can't consider perspective, GlobeTARD.
Nothing for you.
...further away.
How did you didn't answer? What? We need to see parallel light rays from the sun. That's what we need to see. He didn't show anything like that, did he? Nope. You know why?
Nothing for you.
According to the globular theory, a lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, earth, and...
Isn't that pretty funny, the globular theory from this guy to the terrestrial plane? I guess they called it back in the day. This is probably pretty old. The globular theory. I just find it funny. I'm sure Alex and Dick Dawkins might not find that too funny. They might, you know.
and moon are in a direct line, but it is on record that since about the 15th century, over 50 eclipses have occurred while both the sun and moon are visible above the horizon.
So we all know what this is. This is a Selenilian eclipse.
F.H. Cook,
known as the impossible eclipse, by the way.
Terrestrial plane.
Now, when I first heard this, I thought it probably just wasn't true. It just didn't make any sense.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't make any sense, but now you're going to try to pull stuff out your ass to explain it. Well, you're not going to do it. You're going to pull an old elephant hurling fallacy and have somebody else do it, right? Let's hear it.
Turns out that, yeah, this is an occurrence that can actually happen. But it turns out this doesn't actually disprove a globe Earth.
Yes, and Penelope Pitstop was Bruce Lee's grandfather.
Pretty good article on space.com which explains this, and of course I'll leave a link.
Oh, of course, there's his elephant hurling fallacy, because he ain't going to explain it because he's a fucking retard, right? So he's going to elephant hurl space.com at you, right down there in the description box.
In the description, and I would attempt to explain it for myself, but I just would not do it justice. I would.
Yeah, because you're a freaking degenerate, reprobate retard. So you're going to elephant hurl fallacy at us. Should we call his bluff? I'm thinking, yeah. All right. He did put links and sources. Space.com. Let's check it out. Space.com. Let's see. Saturday's lunar eclipse. Okay. Let's get down. Seeing the impossible. Remember I called it, they call it the impossible eclipse. But wait, how's this possible when we have the lunar eclipse? The sun, the earth, and moon are in geometrically straight line in space with the earth in the middle. So if the sun is above the horizon, the moon must be below the horizon and completely out of sight, or vice versa. Yeah. What comes and saves the day, folks? You guessed it, but it is atmospheric refraction, refraction, that makes the Selenilian possible. There you go. Fucking idiot, clown, dumbasses. All right. I'm going to have to take you to the woodshed. Whenever BALLBUSTERs refraction, they're unwittingly invoking terrestrial refraction, just like space.com did. From the subject matter expert from San Diego State University, Andrew Thomas Young, the atmosphere is also curved. Unbelievable. You just have to start out with that, folks. Just dreamland fantasy right from the damn beginning. We'll get to that here. We'll get to more on that here in a second. The atmosphere is also curves as it follows the shape of the Earth. And the calculations below will adopt the rough value of 6,400 kilometers as the radius of curvature. We're going to need validation. I'll just keep on going to make the calculation simple. For terrestrial refraction to exist, two conditions, necessary antecedents, must exist. We just went over them above. I've just pulled them down here. You must have, Alex, are you listening and looking at this? You must have curved gases. That is your fairy tale atmosphere. See, atmo means air, like I said before. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape. And remember what I told you? If you think gases have shape, you'd fail first grade intro to gas behavior. Literally. And here it is. From Christy Bodak, Southwestern University. Grade level. I will use this lesson with a first grade class. If an object is in a gaseous state of matter, asshat, it will not have a definite shape or definite volume. So you and your parroted space.com just got their asses handed to them. You got
knocked the fuck out, man.
Just right here. I could stop right here. It's all over. We'll go belly laughing home over this stupid shit. Over your elephant hurling fallacy. But I won't stop there. This is going to be too much fun. Like liquids, you go to Chem Libre text. Like liquids, gases have no definite shape. You can't have an atmosphere. It's a paradox. It's like a married bachelor. Only a married bachelor is more coherent. B, you must know the radius of the Earth. Right? You heard what he said. This part, the 6,400 kilometer, that's what he's using in his calculations. You can't use that in your calculations unless you validated it. So demonstrate the radius of the Earth, asshat. Yeah, good luck. So you have a begging the question fallacy radius wrapped in a contradiction in terms paradox atmosphere. Your parents must be prouder than game roosters. Number 2, BALLBUSTERS must invoke Snell's law. Why? Because they refraction, right? Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law. Forgive me. This is from your alma mater wiki. Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law and the law of refraction, is a formula used to describe the relationship between the angles of incidence and refraction. When referring to light or other waves, light's not a wave, by the way, but I digress, passing through a boundary between two different isotropic media, such as water, glass, or air. Do you see this depiction? Yeah. And the equation Ni equal Nr over here. Those are two different refractive indexes. Those are two different materials. And there's a boundary. You see the surface boundary between two of the materials? That's where the refraction takes place. No boundary. No refraction-y. You idiot-y. Bounce it off physics classroom. Let's see what they have to say about it. Refraction is the bending of the path of a light wave. Light's not a wave. As it passes from, here we go, one material to another material. It's all over. It's all over right here.
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
The refraction occurs at the boundary, like we just talked about above, and is caused by the change in the speed of a light wave. Light's not a wave. Upon crossing said boundary. The tendency of a ray of light, there are no rays of light. But I digress. To bend one direction or another is dependent on whether the light wave speeds up or slows down upon crossing said boundary. So, asshat, please show two different materials in the atmo. Then show the boundary or boundaries that's changing the speed of light. Jesus. It'd be easier sprouting broccoli from your armpits. You delusional schmuck.
Highly recommend, if this is sort of tripping you out a bit, go and read that article.
It's not tripping us out. You just got your ass handed to you, sunshine. It's all, you can't recover. You know why?
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
Sort of clears everything up.
It's a common misconception.
Oh, it cleared everything up for everyone in my audience. I know that for a fact.
Perfect.
Conception that the shadow of the earth causes moon phases. Even the pastors and priests of the science religion readily admit this fact.
Is this... Okay, I have just...
That's not a rebuttal. I heard what he said. I know it's wrong. Do you?
Spent quite a long time making this response video to this video.
You stuttering fool. What's the problem with what he just said? You pretender clown.
Please tell me this isn't like satirical. Please tell me this.
Why? Please tell you. Why?
This is serious. No, just check the channel. This is sincere.
The interesting...
Yeah, but he didn't respond. What's the problem? Is that all you got? You pretender clown. Idiot Evo-tard. You and your feigned exasperations. Why didn't you deal with the topic? We all heard what he said, and we all know it was wrong. But you don't know. You're just a fraud.
The thing about moon phases is that they are...
By the way...
Shut up, bitch!
...always the exact same 8 phases repeated. But if we were circling around the sun, these 8 phases would inevitably be reversed from the summer to winter seasons.
Well, your diagram there is simply wrong.
That's correct.
You've got a picture of the sun and a picture of the moon in varying positions around a circle next to the...
Yeah, this is... I don't know where he got this from. But this is incorrect.
The sun, but the lighting that you've given to the moon is just wrong. You have a shadow on... If you look at the bottom moon on the right-hand side, you have a shadow on the left-hand side, even though the sun...
Yeah, this is... The entire thing is a big nothing burger for me. You guys like moon phases out there, and you like to dig into that stuff, then you're fine to go at it. It's just, it's a nothing burger. But ODD did screw this up a bit. But Alex made an ass out of himself again.
Is on the left. They should all be lit from the same side. Each one of those moons should actually look the same. The only thing that's changing is the direction from which you're perceiving that moon from the Earth, which would be in the center. And of course, if you picture...
Did he say perceiving again? Like in perception?
Nothing for you.
In this respect, depending on where you look, the moon would have different phases that wouldn't change depending on where you are around the sun.
I completely understand that the idea of a flattened stationary Earth seems ridiculous in many ways.
You said it, I didn't.
No, he said it, you didn't. Is that your argument?
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
But that's only because we are taught the false globe model from the very first time that we enter a school classroom. Not to mention the first time we are introduced to the concept of a flat Earth. It's depicted as a highly laughable world where ships, boats, and water would run off of the edge. So I do get it, but it's all part of the deception. I've spent 30 years of my life believing that we were on a spinning globe. It wasn't until I unbiasedly and scientifically investigated.
You were going good there, ODD, but yeah, watch out. But I'm gonna cut you some slack because this was 7 years ago. A lot of the information that's out there, as we know as normative, wasn't there just yet. Even though I was out there screaming from the rooftops, I'm still gonna cut you some slack for that.
The flat Earth claims that I started to realize that there is more to this theory than I originally.
He said theory. I know what he said. Like I said, I'm giving him a pass.
He gave it credit for.
And you know, I have to say that this is almost admirable. I'm a huge advocate for questioning everything. You guys know.
Yeah, sure. You're a fucking moron.
Hell no!
Bruh. Shut up, bitch!
This. I think that there isn't a single thing that shouldn't be open to criticism and questioning. And that includes...
You lie. You tell you what, you're a liar.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Written all over your face, Evo-tard.
You know, living on an Earth that is a globe. You know,
living on the Earth, that's begging the question. You have yet to prove that, asshat. You see the problem there? That's what we're waiting for.
That is open to question. The thing that
yeah, it was open to question, and we stomped a mud hole in your ass.
Points me is that your analysis seems to be flawed.
What analysis? Where was the analysis flawed? He had a couple that were weak ones, but the other ones still stand tall. They still stand strong. You didn't do anything against them. Because you're weak. You're a weakling. It's suffering from rickets.
And you're right, it's interesting.
Yeah, rickety Evo-tard.
Look at this problem from a completely unbiased perspective.
What problem? There is no problem. It's just pure geometry. That's all it is. Show us your GlobeTARD. BALLTARD. It's really simple.
I mean, personally, I've done the same thing. When I first came across the flat Earth conspiracies, I thought it was
Flat. Here he goes with the flat Earth conspiracies again. Flat Earth's not a conspiracy. Flat is an aspect. And this is a geometry question that has nothing to do with any conspiracies. And you didn't do shit. You're lying again.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
absolutely ridiculous. But then I thought, well, hey, hang on, my principle is to look at things from an unbiased perspective and go by the evidence. So I did so.
And go by the evidence. That's why he's an evotard balltard. They goes by the evidence, you know, with them rigorous research skills that he employs. Like going to a 5-minute video and then admittedly making shit up.
I said, okay, let's assume I didn't know if the Earth was a globe or flat, and
yeah, you don't know.
I had no prior conceptions.
You still didn't know. That's impossible, by the way.
And I looked at the evidence, and I was convinced of a globe Earth quite quickly.
Oh, wow, well, what? Quite quickly? Oh my God! So what was it? What led you quite quickly to your GlobeTARD, evotard? Nothing. You're just making it up. You got it off Wiki and Discovery Channel. People just told you what to believe. And you're a moron. Everyone in my audience knows that you're an idiot. You have the basic reasoning skills of a fucking root vegetable. And a science acumen that's...
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Now fuck off.
Perfect.
So it disappoints me that the same thing hasn't happened to you, but hopefully through some of the rebuttals that you must have been getting to the...
Rebuttals? What? You didn't get any rebuttals from you.
These arguments that you're making, we can start more of a discussion, because a lot of people will say...
Start more of a discussion about what? Geometry? That's not a discussion, it's geometry. So get to showing the geometry of your GlobeTARD, balltard. Idiot.
And a lot of people do say, you know, it's a waste of time to talk to people who believe in a flat Earth.
It's a waste of time to talk to people that believe in the evotard and balltard. But we enjoy it. We enjoy exposing them. Like you're getting exposed now. Idiot.
An insult to the intellect, whatever. But I would say this.
You don't have any intellect. You got, remember I told you your IQ was 0. You demonstrated that here today again. Even your grown-up self 7 years later, I just did that video. You're as dumb as a stump.
I would say that as long...
Yeah, have you seen any friggin' glasses of water spontaneously move across the table? You and Dick swap and spit in the shower.
As long as there are people who sincerely believe something which is scientifically inaccurate...
See, that's a problem. And it's scientific. That's you. You believe in something that's scientifically inaccurate. The balltard and the evotard. You're projecting now. That's you. We're trying to help you now. But you're a full F-72 code. That's beyond my scope. You need professional help. Glue sniffer.
I want to do everything that I can to try and change that person's...
Oh, my... Yeah, I know. Yeah, sure you would. Yeah, you want to do everything you possibly can. Make me puke.
Opinion. And of course, there are some people in the world who will just never be able to change their beliefs.
Yeah, like evotards and balltards. They won't ever be able to change their beliefs because they're fanatical religion-tard zealots. That's why. And you're the poster child.
But bear in mind that, like I said before, these videos can be quite persuasive. They can be quite compelling in some...
Look at him. What a real Nancy is, isn't he?
Circumstances when there isn't...
Is your balls dropped? Balltard. And where's your helmet?
Healthy opposition. And so credulous people might be prone to the danger of adopting these beliefs because there's no serious opposition to them. And if we...
Yeah, the dangerous beliefs. I don't know how dangerous it is, but the Evo, I guess that's pretty dangerous. It's going to be dangerous down the line, that's for sure. But this is just this is just op-ed horseshit.
If we just laugh these things off and say, oh, well, it's ridiculous, let's not waste our time on them, then people who are beginning to become seduced by flat earth conspiracies, for instance, are starting to go down a very dangerous path.
Flat earth conspiracies. He always connects flat earth with conspiracies during this video. He did it all but once or twice, right? Do you think that is on purpose? Or he's just a glue sniffer? I'll leave it up to you.
And if there's no serious opposition to pull these people back to reason, then they might just...
He's pulling us back to reason. It's the glue sniffing fungus muncher. Let me clue you, sunshine. You got
knocked the fuck out, man.
fall all the way down the rabbit hole, and that's not something which I particularly want to happen. I don't want people who are agnostic about this issue
like he knows what agnostic means. About what issue?
To fall on the side of illogic.
To fall on the side of illogic when he just posted or stated a number of fallacious arguments today. But he's on the side, obviously, of logic, right?
Nothing for you.
And so that is why, despite how ridiculous flat earth conspiracies might seem to be...
What's he? He did it again. Flat earth conspiracies. He just, he's a fanatical religitard. You just can't get it. He just says it. They're just watchwords that he's probably wrote down to say, because he said it a lot.
They are dangerous, and I think that we should still try and tackle them.
Who are you, Mother Teresa?
But anyway, just before I go, I do want to say...
Anyway, who cares?
A massive thank you for 20,000
We do not care.
It is just ridiculous. It
We do
really
not
is.
care.
I mean, considering the amount of time that I've been doing
We do
this
not
cosmic
care.
skeptic thing, like, it's crazy.
We do
I
not
honestly
care.
cannot thank you enough. But like I
We
say,
do not
the
care.
next video is going to be a Q&A, so leave your
We do
questions
not
below
care.
or send them to me on social media, which you can find
We do not care.
here. And I'll try and get around to as many as I can. I love
Shut
doing Q&A, so ask me any...
That's it. All right, let's roll back. Roll back the tide, see if anyone's out there. I haven't stopped the whole time. All right, who we got out here? 74. How you guys doing out here? We got super chats, super position, super trans, Superman, super chat, super salad, super computer. We got, let me scroll on up here. Roger Ledwell, there's one for the headless ball. Yeah, that's classic. I haven't heard that in a long time. I was perusing through some of the numpty clips today, and that one came up. It's pretty funny. Incredibly cherry sheet that they never state anything. They just give me money. Appreciate that. Roger Ledwell again. Don't fear the Reaper. That's a good song, by the way. Daniel Santiago, hey, thanks a lot. Brian's Logic, look at you, giving me money and shit. You can predict the Selenilian eclipse via its cycles, but you can't predict refraction, so their pathetic workaround is debunked. Yeah, right. Yep. And Skeptic936, appreciate it, man. Channel support, thank you very much. Yep. What do we got? I went through this whole video. Hardly any mistakes and no breaks. How you like that? But I'll tell you right now, Kim Hopkins, your sister. No, your sister. Bro. What's up, Retro Bill? Sorry, we went. Retro Bill said, Brian. All right. So, listen, we had to go back. I wanted to go back to the flat earth topic, and like I said, I ran into this one. So I thought it was appropriate, but like I told you, I think we're gonna stick around the Asshat O'Connor menu and see how many more. He's got a lot with Evotards, right? But his videos, he's rebutting quote unquote creationists and things like that. They just don't flow very well to me. I find myself correcting the creationist just as much. It's double the work is what I'm trying to say. I'd like to, if he just had a video of just discussing it himself, it would be much easier. Right? But I just don't, it's like I said, it's just too hard to do the double thing, right? But let me look over it the next week or so. He's got a lot of videos, so I may be missing them. But I've listened to a couple, and I'm like, yeah, there's some good spots in there that I can really crank it out. But then I'm spending most of my time with the correcting the creationist, if you know what I mean. I just it's not doing it for me. Yes, Adam, I did note there were no phone calls from you. I did that. That is noted. I'll take the contract off. I can't believe I finished that whole thing in one fell swoop. I can't believe it. I don't think I've ever done that, have I? I don't think so. Now, granted, it was a short video. It was 10 minutes, but still, usually 10 minutes, that's like 2-3 hours. Right? But this is pretty cut and dry. And like I said, I understand this is low-hanging fruit. I know, but he's like a little kid almost, right? But, you know, what do you want me to do? He came out into Thunderdome, right? It's not my fault. I tried to correct this dumbass back. You see my post back there. Yeah, contract. Yeah, exactly. I said the contract out. I can stop it. Yeah, so we'll see where we go from here. We do have Ballbuster Saturday, a couple admin things. There's Ballbuster Saturday. Brian is going to be presenting on buoyancy and weight. I hope I'm not talking out of turn there, Brian. Hey, thanks again, Roger. Another Superchat, Superfluid, Superintendent, Superfly. Don't troll MC Tard. Do troll. I MC McBooger Eater. You need to go into the numpty clips. He's already finished. Roger, just go onto the channel, hit playlist, hit numpty clips. Either the numpty clips or the signature ones. You're gonna run into McBooger Eater. And Retro Bill, thanks a lot, man. More vids on this guy. Yeah, I am. I'm going to. And maybe a future treatment featuring that brain sick baboon. Yeah, you know what? I got off of the baboon chick. I forgot what I was calling her. It was something pretty bad. I got off of that. Something happened, and I just moved on because I think it was irritating me so much that I just left it. But yeah, she's so cringe, right? I know that's an excuse. Let me see what I can come up with. Did I call her a baboon chick? Brain sick baboon? I don't think so. I think I had a different name than that. Let me know the next time we go live. Oh, and by the way, the website is down. It's been acting fruity the past couple days. I check it every day. It's been acting fruity the past couple days, and we're trying to get Davey, if you're out there, Davey, my website guy, check your Skype. We need help, right? I need that website back up. Yeah, shout out to Nathan Oakley. Nathan, what do you got? You got a premiere going on right now. So everyone head over. I'm gonna close up shop here. So everyone could head over to Nathan. He is premiering a show. I'll go ahead and pin it for him. Just go to the pin message. It's up there, up top, up there for you, and just go over to his channel, and everything should be kosher. I think that's all for admin for now. I don't think I forgot anything. Let's take a listen to the. I played this in the beginning. A lot of people didn't hear it, but we'll go ahead and listen to the Headless Bozo, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side, guys. QE out. We have a new BALLBUSTERS Bozo on the circuit. Edric, April 11th, 2020.
The whole thing is really in affirming the consequent formological fallacy in itself.
What, you're prepared to say that before you know anything about how they work?
No, I do know how they work. I just told you I've been researching them for months.
How is it in affirming the consequent?
Well, here's the argument as I understand it. If the Earth is a globe, an EQ mount will track an object across the sky from horizon to horizon using only one axis of rotation. It does that, therefore the Earth is a globe. That's not the only conclusion you can draw from the results of using an EQ mount, correct?
Brandon, Brandon, the problem with doing it that way, and this is a Nathan Oakley exercise all the time. You could just as accurately say, if an EQ mount will follow, a celestial body across the sky from horizon to horizon, then the Earth is a globe, right? You just transpose your P and your Q arguments, and then it's not an affirming the consequent, which is a fallacy. It's an affirming the antecedent or remote opponents, which is a valid argument. Okay.
So restate the argument for me in the way that you'd say it.
Your argument was, if the Earth is a globe, then EQ mounts work in X fashion, right? EQ mounts work in X fashion, therefore the Earth is a globe. Now you're right, that's an affirming the consequent fallacy, right? But you could equally say, if you transpose the propositions, you could equally say, if an EQ mount works in X fashion, then the Earth is a globe. An EQ mount works in X fashion, therefore the Earth is a globe. Now that's not a fallacy.
Ay, caramba!
Really? So according to you, to save a train wreck formal logical fallacy, you just flip the P's and Q's and voila, Bob's your uncle, right? Great job. Now that you saved the formal, we can now check for soundness, right? Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Number 1, an informal logical fallacy called begging the question. Assuming the very thing you're attempting to prove with your EQ mount, it's a sphere fiasco. And number 2, a non sequitur fallacy. Because nobody with a competent faculty of reasoning skills would clumsily attempt to appeal to the motion of a man-made object, tracking the motion of celestial objects, to validate what they're standing on. It's tantamount to attempting to discern the shape of Cassiopeia by tracking how a motion-sensitive camera surveils a friggin' mud bog. You're an imbecile!
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
You got to be careful. I mean, an example commonly used is, to try and make it obvious, if you cut a person's head off, they will die, right? I cut the person's head off, therefore they're dead, right? But the problem is, look at line 1. If you cut a person's head off, they will die. That's not a factual statement.
Oh,
Are you serious? Are you serious? Just a flesh wound. I'm invincible! I'll bite your legs off!
Ya headless bozo.
Well, no, it's not an argument. I mean, we can show you pictures showing you exactly how they work. I mean, look, Brandon, you've got to understand the only explanations, those of us who've been doing this for a little while, the only explanations we get to the South Celestial Pole problem are either, I don't know what the nature of the stars are, they're celestial, something or others, or personal dome arguments, which are ludicrous. I know you're saying you don't have an explanation, but none of us have ever heard an explanation for the South Celestial Pole.
Oh, really? So we have 3 anecdotal fallacies, which are straw man fallacies, and I have an explanation to your conjured South Celestial Pole problem. From Cornell University, there is no South Star. It's just a coincidence that there happens to be a bright star, Polaris, close to the celestial North Pole. The southern hemisphere isn't so lucky. The only star that comes close is Sigma Octans, which is 1 degree away from the South Celestial Pole, but it's only a 6th magnitude, too dim to see at all except under optimal conditions. And from the 1 Minute Astronomer, Dr. Brian Ventrudo, in the northern hemisphere, the bright and easy to find star Polaris marks the position of the northern celestial pole. This makes it easy for stargazers and navigators to find north and get orientated in the night sky. But in the southern hemisphere, it is different. By sheer bad luck, the south celestial pole, the imaginary point in the sky, directly above the Earth's south pole, coincides with no bright stars, and the southern polar sky has few other guides to find the pole. So,
You dumbass.
your conjured south celestial pole problem is your problem because it's in your imagination. You're a bozo.
The other circular argument, the other explanation we get is the world's worst circular argument. The Earth is flat, it works, therefore that's how it works. You know what I mean? It must work because the Earth is flat.
Are you serious?
Did you query preschoolers for your fourth anecdotal belly-laughing straw man fallacy here? Headless bozo, perhaps you should consider returning post-haste to your cake decorating and whose favorite color is the best forms to ply your wares, son. You're a retard.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night.